So I wanted to go over another trade review with you guys, and while I'm doing the trade review, I figure I'd talk to you about time and a little bit of structure as well. Um, you know, if you don't have some type of structure on your chart, it kind of feels like an open void. So it's good to box out the sessions and stuff like that. So it shows you highs and lows and a little something to trade off of. Okay, so right here, this orange box is going to be the Asian session. Okay, along with the orange box, I've boxed out the gap on Asian, and up here is high time frame fair value gaps. Okay, which we use that as levels, and it helps us with a little directional bias. Okay, but overall, I'll get into that a little bit after. But I normally don't take a trade during Asian session, but because it opened on a gap, as you see here, and drove all the way up here, which is quite more than the usual Asian range, I told myself, look, I would like to get into a sell, okay, because my overall outlook on NQ is we're gonna be buying up at least for the next couple of days. All right. We have PPI and CPI reports today, which is Tuesday, and Wednesday. Tomorrow's the CPI, followed by core sales on Thursday. So I think that is going to be a nice run up for the week, especially being that we crossed a major level yesterday. So first, I'll go over the trade. Okay, so I know because I always draw these boxes. It helped me with the range. This is a 100-point range, very high for an Asian session. Okay, I know that Asian session is rangy. Okay, so I'm not looking. I'm sure that it's not gonna make a much bigger move than 100 points. You know, not only that, price likes to close gaps. So I'm looking for it to close gaps. So as it, stopped momentum, it was more likely that this gap is going to act like a magnet, as it usually does. So I was looking for sales to target the gap closure. Okay, so towards here, this was a. If you're getting closer here, all right. So you can see one of my inversions fail. Okay, so I got in. So as I usually get in on inversions, I need some type of entry mile to get into the trade. So as this goes down here, all right, you have like a displacement candle. It goes back in it, attempting to invert, but it doesn't. So I get in as it closes on the outside of it, targeting, the close of the gap, which it did. Okay, and just in and out of that trade. What was that? 27 points. So just under 30 points, right? So now being that the gap closed, okay, and I didn't take any trades since, but being that the gap closed, I figured, okay, it closed it. Now it has the fills that it needs to go higher. And why do I think it's going to go higher anyway? So we're going to go to the hourly chart, and I'm going to show you, my outlook on the week and from yesterday. Excuse me there. All right, so you see, so this is yesterday. Yesterday, it closed above this hourly fair value gap. Now we know that price likes to go towards liquidity, the draws on liquidity as well as inefficiencies. The fair value gap is an example of an inefficiency. All right, and it closed above that on the hourly. Okay, so that gives us more of a bullish directional bias for the week, and this being the next inefficiency, the next hourly fair value gap that I think the price would go towards, especially us having PPI later on today, and then CPI tomorrow. We can quite easily see price to go all the way up here and close above this gap. I do like to, I don't like to trade before news. I like to see it play out because, no matter what, even if just because news is positive, it doesn't mean that the market is going to react that way. So I see the reaction to price always. That's my opinion, at least. Always wait on the reaction for price. So I'm looking for a nice entry for on the 1 minute for these. Okay, always gonna wait for a sweep now. This is what I was looking for. I was hoping for price to leave these equal lows alone. Okay, and it's relative equal lows. Yes, this price did come a little lower from here than here, but I kind of like to see a more clearer sweep than this. All right. If you ever tried to say you had sitting orders at a price, so you had sitting orders at $5, price was at $10. You have 10 orders that need to be filled. It goes down and it goes just down to the $5 price, and it fills two of your contracts instead of all five, and then it continues up. That's what I imagine goes on in situations like this with institutions. If they have sitting orders to get filled here and price just brushes here and comes back up, that's not. They need a little more than that. So I like it to be taken out completely, much like here. However, this isn't the time for action. This is 6:30, right? It is it's after Asian, after London, before New York. This is a pretty dead zone right now. So not that price can do what it wants to do, but probability wise, this is not the great time for a trade. And ideally, I like to wait after news, especially a big news report like the PPI, produces price index. All right, so it already took out liquidity. Maybe it'll come a little further down here to take out these sitting orders. We're gonna wait and see. I especially love to wait for extremities to be taken out. So something like the Asian low, that would be great. Maybe come back and tap down to the gap once again. So it's all about probabilities. See about your ideas, and of course, even though I am bullish on the week, it could just disrespect my whole directional bias. So I have to be willing to be wrong as well. Okay, but nonetheless, my bias is bearish, and I shows you why. We'll see what happens.